How you going? Now, I don't know about you, but whenever I bump into an old person tottering slowly down the street,
I'll go over here, yeah.
I always think to myself, I could take him. But I don't, because I'm a normal human being. And I've definitely never considered electrocuting them with 50,000 volts for 30 seconds until they die. But that's exactly what some people did last month in Australia, when a 95-year-old woman with dementia was killed by coppers with a taser.
A 95-year-old great-grandmother tasered by police in her aged care home, dying tonight.
All because she was holding a knife and walking around with her walking frame in a nursing home. Then after she approached cops at a slow pace, they tasered her and she died. So, today I'm going to try and make a device that shows that we might not need to kill unarmed people. Okay, now I actually made this man-catching device a couple of years ago, but it was really bad. It didn't work properly, it snapped, and I also only tested it on a 14-year-old child. Worst of all, it had a locking mechanism in the jaws that would prevent it from opening once closed. But that button for locking and opening was in the jaws in reach of the person you captured, so they could just press the button and free themselves. So not the best man catcher. And a couple of things have changed since that video 3 years ago. I've discovered the magic of welding and metalwork, so I can make it stronger and scarier with spikes, and also my moral compass has decreased. And to start, I need to design the closing mechanism. And I've always thought bull ants have really beautiful jaws which overlap and seem to lock. So I just grabbed an ant from my garden and did a sketch of its mandibles.
Come back.
Now I want this to work by having these jaws on the side here which have spikes, which move towards each other and lock in a closed position when these two metal bars get pushed towards each other. So to test if the mechanics work, I made it out of cardboard, which is definitely too floppy to even catch the floppiest of old people, but I think I'm on the right track here. Then I made a prototype out of wood, and after fiddling around with the dimensions, it seems to close alright and isn't that floppy. Which means it's time for me to spend $100 on metal and cut out my design with my mate's plasma cutter. And this really is the kind of thing you need a CNC plasma cutter for, as after only 10 minutes I'm already sweating, my back's sore, and my feet are pretty badly burnt. But I've finished all the simple pieces, and I didn't want to screw up the more complicated jaw-shaped pieces as I found it really hard to even follow a straight line. So instead, just bought 2 jaws from the jaw section of the local hardware store. Then I cleaned off all the unnecessary sharp bit on the belt sander and also made them all the exact same size, then drilled the holes. And the more I drill, the more excited I get to see if I've wasted $100 on metal. And after bolting it all together, it seems to kind of work. And also looks way cooler than I thought it would when it closes up. But this doesn't mean it will catch a person. Okay, now I just need to put this whole thing on the end of 2 pipes that are inside each other. And the inside pipe will have a handle that I can pull to close the whole mechanism. Now when I was designing this thing, I thought I would just cut a slot and put this piece in here and then weld the crescent piece in. But I forgot that I need this hole in the pipe to remain a hole, as the other pipe is going to be moving inside there. So I'm going to try something really smart or really dumb. I don't know yet. I marked the dimensions of the pipe on the piece and then cut 90% of the way through the metal and then welded it in place. So now I just need to cut the remaining bit inside the pipe. And if I cut the whole thing in half before, it would be very hard to align both pieces perfectly straight with each other, especially when they warp from welding. So now that I've tack welded it, I just need to cut the inside pieces. See? Easy. Then I just welded it permanently in place. Now I know I'm not meant to weld galvanized pipe, as it releases poisonous fumes or whatever, but I am taking precautions by wearing a mask and working in a really well ventilated garage. But this is something I've never seen before. If anyone knows what this poisonous looking death spider web that's coming out of the steel, please let me know. Okay, now this pipe that goes inside the other one also gets a slot in it and then is welded to this piece. And now I get to see how the whole mechanism moves around.
Please work. Yes. 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 Yes.
And it's a bit stiff, but seems to work alright, and the pieces line up with each other. So next I cut a little peepee hole in the big pipe that will allow me to access the small pipe. And my plan was to cut a sideward slot in the big pipe and then weld a handle to the small pipe so I can lock the mechanism in place to the side like a bolt action rifle or something. But I realized a big problem. I can't actually turn the inside pipe because the whole jaw structure is attached to it. So I'm going to have to come up with something else. And this camping chair might help. So I pulled off the leg and found this little knob spring thing, which I'm going to steal to put inside the small pipe. And Rick, if you're watching this, I know I told you that your camping chair broke when I slammed it in the front door of my car, and then you were really angry about it. And then you went into the forest looking for a log to sit on, and you brought a big one back. But then the ranger shouted at you because collecting logs degrades the natural habitat and biodiversity. Yeah, that was my fault, and I'll buy you a new one. Okay, so now the moment of truth. Did I destroy Rick's camping chair for a good reason? You did it. First go. And it looks like I did. So next, I just cut down this pull stick, which isn't a gun, and sanded it down until it looks like a handle, and then put in this bolt, which just happened to be covered in glue. Then just screwed in the handle to the inside pipe. And now I can manually make the whole jaw thing close, and it seems to lock in place every time. But there is still a lot of friction between the metal jaw sections, and they could definitely be smoother. So I bought these things called thrust bearings, which I've used before in the bedroom, but never for building stuff. So I grabbed my wrenches and put a thrust bearing between every bolt. And now there is no friction between the pieces at all.
Oh, it feels so much nicer. Hey Alexa!
Yeah?
Can I catch you?
What? I'm just gonna stand here and you're gonna put that on me.
Yes, exactly. Alright. Move your arms, please, sir. That's not good, it grabs your shirt.
Thank you.
It's not even hitting you yet. Okay. How does it feel? I go more on it.
Oh yeah, go.
It's gotta stop there. There's a big hole there. Oh wow, I'm sorry, that's actually bad. But I designed it from like my waist. Yeah.
You're calling me a fat guy on the inside.
I'm not calling you a fat guy.
That's pretty mean.
People have different bodies. It's fine. Do you reckon you can try it on me?
You don't have to carry it. This thing's heavy, isn't it?
It's really heavy. Ow, 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 ow!
Oh, it's stuck. What?
It really hurts. It's sticking straight in.
How do you get
Just
it out?
press.
Wait, this one's missing. This one on this side doesn't even come out.
Press
Wait,
both of them.
look.
Stop turning it! Stop! Oh. That's really bad.
Why'd you make this?
And the jaws may look cool, but the spikes really suck for catching, as they are incredibly painful when they dig into your back. And also the spikes make it hard to wrap around people as they get caught on people's clothing. So all I did was make a new pair of smooth jaws, which should be less painful. And now comes the real test. And I'm going to test this on someone that the police are used to abusing. This 86-year-old homeless man. But he has a secret. He knows Kung Fu.
working. Throw it. Oh, he got you.
I feel like this is really actually good. Alright, let's stop.
Okay.
That is locked in on your leg.
It's very tight, yeah, it's good.
It was tight.
It works, it works.
It does actually work?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you can still that.
It wasn't too tight though? It wasn't.
It was tight. I couldn't do much in there. No, that's alright.
Just actually.
Now I think Cass was going easy on me, allowing the device to slip around his body, probably because I was paying him and he wanted to make it look like my device was working. But even then, he still managed to throw his knife into my neck and his ciggy into my leg. So this time I told him to pretend like he was actually going to be detained, like in all those prison stories he was telling us about, and to do everything in his power to escape.
Ready? Yeah. Set. Go. Okay. Put it down. Put it down. Yeah. Oh no, he's got it. Oh, what do I do now?
He's got you. He got you. You're dead. Your device sucks, Alex.
Was that easy? That was so easy.
Easy. But if you go in quick,
If I go in
we'll
quick,
disable you. No worries.
I kind of stab you like that. Then I can get you.
The thing is, in real life, you won't be getting tips from the person who's trying to attack you.
No,
There's...
it doesn't work like that.
And that time, Cass just grabbed the claws and worked his way slowly up the pole until he could stab me. Now, I probably could have ripped and spun him off, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having a harmless man catcher. So, we were 1-1 now, so we decided to do the best out of 3 and give it one more go.
2, 1, go. Well, now I got you. Now it's locked in. Does that hurt? Wait.
Oh, he's pulling it off. He's slipping it off.
I don't think you can get me. I've got you.
He's not giving up.
I know. He's persistent. I got you. Yes.
Oh, it's...
I've got you. You just admit it's over.
And that time I managed to grab him, and once you have someone in the claws, it works really well, and they definitely can't get out. But getting them in isn't that easy.
No.
Also, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, this isn't an accurate test of how the device works, as he is too old. You need to test it on someone younger.
The camera.
That was a good shot.
Yeah. Oh, you got me.
And now trying to get out.
I got so strong muscles.
You do have strong muscles. Yeah, you can get out if you can.
I can have a time.
You can have a go, but that was embarrassing because I couldn't actually stop him from getting out.
And this was meant to be a funny joke segment that didn't prove anything. But even this 3-year-old was able to defeat me. As once he put his weight down on the end, it just turns into a big lever and I can't pick it back up. And he wasn't even trying to do that. But again, I reckon it's because I didn't want to be rough and hurt him. So for the final test, I'm going to do it on someone that I'm not afraid to hurt.
Can we do this when I finish eating?
Yeah, okay. Also, I'm going to make some quick changes to the man catcher. In my first man catching video, you guys had some pretty horrible suggestions on how I could make it better. A lot of you talked about a different latching mechanism, but others wanted me to attach tasers or pepper spray to the front, and you even drew diagrams explaining how to do it. And I agree it's a funny idea and extremely easy to taser someone once you already have them restrained inside a pair of claws, but it kind of defeats the whole purpose of not tasing them by putting a taser on the end, so I won't be doing that. Mostly because tasers are illegal for civilians like me to own. But I have an idea of how I can make this better, and that's by taking the whole thing apart and just using the middle stick with the crescent-shaped piece on the top, as the closing mechanism works well if I can get someone inside, but it's very easy to avoid if the person just grabs it, and then I just have a big heavy stick. So hopefully without the claws I should be able to move it around quicker.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're just trying to kill me.
Okay.
But we're going properly. You're actually trying to kill me. This is revenge for the concussion. Okay. Ready?
I'd want to be further away if I'm...
Set.
Okay.
Go.
I died so quickly. I just hit myself.
That is scary. I'm like, "Wah!"
What can you do now? We'll get you on the ground.
I think I can still get that.
Okay, go.
I'll try.
Go.
Oh, that's going so quick.
What happened here? It's fun.
That's a tin. Yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry.
And that worked a little better and a little worse. I was definitely more nimble with it and managed to pin Alexa down 2 out of 5 times. And then he also knocked me down twice. But the majority of the times, the other person was able to grab the end of the catcher, which then acts as a big handle and control the other person, or just move down the stick and then get him. But that just might be because Alexa and I are hot buff guys. Imagine if you had a team of people with sticks like this using it on a 97-year-old woman with dementia. Then I could definitely see this working. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos.